It's a lot of stuff. I hope so. I have always joked that I have enough parts here to keep me busy with projects for years, so I decided to put that to the test. With some small exceptions that I will get into later, I will not buy any parts for projects for the entire of 2022. Instead, I will make use of stuff I already have. So, why am I doing this? As you can see, I recently moved office, and I was actually kind of embarrassed by the amount of stuff I had. Some of it is Tindy related, but there is still a significant portion of this that is just random parts for projects. My typical flow for buying things has always been think of a project and figure out what I'll need, and then if it's not super urgent, buy the parts from AliExpress or eBay. When the parts arrive in 2 months' time or whenever, I might not be so hot on that project anymore, or even I might have thought of something different that I want to do. My time to execute projects has always been in much shorter supply than my ability to think of projects, so I end up with more parts for projects than finished projects. The parts are usually not that expensive, but it still does add up. And finding storage for everything is also a problem, even though I have this entire room dedicated to it. I'm also looking forward to potentially making my list of projects shorter, as I'm limited to what new things I can add to it. Adding constraints can also really focus you, or at least I'm hoping it will. I also think it will be kinda cool if I use an old part in a video to maybe talk briefly about the project I originally bought it for if it's an interesting one. And obviously from an environmental point of view, I'm not very happy with shipping stuff halfway around the world just so it can sit here in my house doing nothing. When I mentioned this plan on Twitter, a lot of people brought up with the component shortage that this is going to be the reality for everyone, but I don't think that's true. I think the chip shortage is a much bigger problem for people who design boards rather than people who are just building a once-off hobby project. When building a hobby project, you only need to worry about sourcing what you need right now. For selling hardware, you need to worry, will it be available by the time you even finish prototyping? Since I'm giving up selling hardware, that doesn't really apply to me anymore. When you're buying once-off components for hobbies, there's always different displays or sensors or LEDs or whatever that are going to be available to buy if you want them. I mentioned earlier about exceptions, so here's what I'm thinking. First off is PCBs. I think they can really speed up and finish off projects, and I don't even have a lot of perf board here anyways, so I think it makes sense to use them if I need them. I will make use of PCBs with bodge wires to reduce revisions wherever possible though. Parts for repairs. I think it makes sense that if there's something that needs to be repaired, that I can buy the part for it. I will try use things I have here wherever possible though. For example, one thing I can think of at the moment is I have a broken PlayStation 4 controller where the battery just doesn't work anymore. I assume there's a fairly standard LiPo inside, so if I have a small enough battery here to physically fit, I'll try make use of that. And then finally, essential home automation that involves mains. So as we've been doing up our house, there are some things where smart devices solve problems for us. For example, the kids' playroom, the only light switch is over beside a door we don't use, so Wi-Fi bulbs help solve that problem for us. Even before this, I wouldn't normally do things with mains voltage anyways, but if there are a low voltage project, for example, maybe a switch that sends commands to those smart bulbs, I'll use parts I have here to hand. So, what do you think? Is it something you would be able to do? Do you think my exceptions are pure cop-outs, or... Yeah, I'm curious to what your opinion on this is. I think it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to having the limitation of just the stuff I have here and turning some of that stuff into finished projects. As always, I'd like to give a huge thanks to my GitHub sponsors for helping to support the channel and the open source libraries and weird projects that I make. Thank you for watching, See you next time. Bye bye.